Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict, right? And as you can tell by today's thumbnail, yes, that thumbnail right there. So I was scared. Bang, bang, right? We are talking about California prisoners. And I know I've done a lot of content and I've done a lot of extensive material concerning California prisoners. But we're going to get down to something different here. We're going to talk about the nitty gritties that represent your city, and the type of inmates, the type of prisoners, the type of convicts, and the conduct of how they may carry themselves while incarcerated in California prisons. Now, there's a lot of states, okay? There's a lot of different states, and every different programa is different. Every different program is different, but it's all basically the same when you're incarcerated, okay? Now, I know the political makeup and the politics, and we're not going to talk about that right here, to each certain group and how they get down and their rules and regulations and so on and so forth in a menudo style and direct fashion. Right here, we're not going to discuss that because that's their business, okay? And we're not here to give up game. I'm here to give you game. Now, with that token, with that being said, let's get into California prisoners. You know, I did an extensive amount of time incarcerated. For those of you that don't know, beep, bitty, boop, 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 bang, bang. Yes, of course, the gun was locked up. You know, I was locked up as a youth, the California Youth Authority, county jails, road camps, and of course, I ended up going to prison. And I done my fair share of time in prison. Now, I know that doesn't make me any better than you. In fact, you're better than me if you've never been incarcerated. So that's good. One or two things happen. Either you never got caught, bang, bang. Gotta give you your props for that. Or two, you just never were in the mix like that and never found yourself in doing criminal activities and getting caught up in criminal situations. Whatever the case may be, man, I commend you for that. Okay, me on the other hand, I was a baboso. And I'm not saying everyone that's locked up is, because there's a lot of different things that lead into being locked up. I'm just saying me, I did the crimes, so indubitably, the gun did the time. California prisoners, there's a whole different array of prisoners locked up. You have general population active prisoners that are in there striving for what they believe in, striving for their cause, striving for a chance to get back out to society to do what they feel they have to do. Now, there's other prisoners that are locked up that are incarcerated that really weren't cut out for that and really are just in there because they're in there. You know, they're taking a space. They're not cons, right? Whatever the case may be, there's different types of individuals, okay? It's not saying that anyone is better than anyone else. It's not saying anyone is to be respected more. It's just saying everyone wiggles differently. This is life. And in life, prison doesn't make you a man. The man makes you a man. You make yourself a man. And how you carry yourself and the conduct that you display and the respect factor that goes into it is how you are looked at. You know, you're a man with your own vision. How you get there and why you get there, Sasuke, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, I did my time how I did my time. And I expect everyone to do theirs likewise, right? So trip out. California prisoners, like I said, there's general population, people that are in there. There's people that are part of organizations. They are part of prison gangs. They are part of that mix. That's their business. That's their stilo. That's how they choose to get down. And there's a lot of turmoil and a lot of toiling in the soil that comes with that. It's not easy. You know, I respect those guys that are really in there putting it down for their true beliefs and what they believe in because they're going through a lot. You know, administration makes it hard on them. By no means is it easy. Okay, but if you choose to put your life in that situation, if you choose to be that and do that, Sabasuke, do it to the fullest. Bang, bang. Ain't no doubt about it. Ain't nothing wrong or right with it. It is what it is. Now, I'm not here to mislead you. I'm not here to dissuade you. I'm not here to say, hey, watch out. It's not good to gangbang. If you want to gangbang, if you want to be involved in that mix, if you want to pursue that lifestyle, handle it. Handle your scandal like a vandal. Do your thing. At the end of the day, remember, you're going to reap what you sow. Only you, you know, can do it. Do it to it. Baby, we can do it. Take your time. Do it right. I did mine. Do yours. Now, there's other types of prisoners in California system. Okay. And these prisoners are considered dropouts, degenerates, people that defected from gangs, people that no longer wanted to function for one reason or another. And do I look at these individuals any different? Charlie, and I'm explaining to you why. So because I went to that side of the fence. You know, I got put in a precarious situation where I thought that if for no other reason, I should do what I had to do a certain way, and it was against the grain. Now, of course, in the gang's eyes, in prison's eyes, that's not a good look. That didn't look, or that wasn't the way it was supposed to go, but that's how my life panned out. Those are the cards I was dealt that day. So we were playing poker, not Monopoly, right? And that's the hand I was dealt, and I chose to go a certain route and do a certain thing, okay? And I ended up not looked at in a good light, in the gang's eyes, in the organization's eyes, in the people's eyes, for which I toiled for many years, okay? And it's hard. It's hard being incarcerated your whole life, and it's hard being a gang member, and it's hard having beliefs to one day just, sas, it's over. Okay, your career's over, so okay, you're no longer considered fun. You're not active in your function. You're not with us anymore. Okay, you're against us now. But really, am I against them? Charlie, because I'm a true believer in brown people, and I'm a true believer in the results are what you make of them. Okay, and that's what I made of it in my life, and that's how I ended up. So there are guys that are in there that ain't no suckers. Oh no, by no means necessary. They're not no punks. They're not no bitches. They're not none of that. They're not telling. They're not doing any of that. They are just no longer in good standings in the gang's eyes, and that's understandable. And that's, like I said, each group's different politics and different reasonings behind that, and whatever the case may be. But by no means necessary do you think that them guys on the other side are punks, because they're not. Right? And I'm not promoting the propaganda that they're all solid, because there is some basura, there are some vatos that weren't meant to be. You know what I mean? Or they're meant to be where they're at. Okay, but that's a different type of California prisoner. You know, there's a lot of different ones. Then, of course, you have your weirdos. Right? We're talking about guys that are in there for heinous crimes, guys that are in there for crimes against minors or people of older age, people that they shouldn't been fucking with, okay? Now, these people are looked down upon. Are they to be bullied? Are they to be tested? Charlie, they're to be eradicated, right? But at the same time, that's my personal beliefs. I know a lot of people agree with me, but this is also a California prisoner. These are some of the people that are walking them yardas. Okay, are they going to walk it in general population? Charlie, they have special yards for these people, protective housing units, SNY yards, things of that nature, where they set these people up basically and let them live their life. Of course, if they come into contact with anyone who's about that wigglization, or anyone that really is a true believer in being a man, right? They're going to come up short, or they're going to come up real short. You know, if I'm going to answer a few questions here. See, it's not, people ask me a lot of different questions in the comments, man, and I'm here to give game to the best of my ability. And I will tell you this, if someone with bad paperwork, or someone that has done something weird, and when I say weird crimes, y'all know what I mean, man. This is YouTube. I can't do too much, and I can't say too much. But what I'm saying is, if you see someone, you happen to come in contact, you flight them immediately, right? And not because you're supposed to, you should want to, right? But at the same time, I'm not promoting violence or anything. That happens when it happens. But as a man, as a grown man, that's usually what it comes to, and that's usually what happens. Okay, but I've never seen it happen in all the time that I was incarcerated. I never seen no weirdo hit a GP and slide by. I have seen guys that had some shady crimes. They happen to get by for a long time, but eventually the cream rises to the top, and they recognize that, right? They see it, they find out, they figure it out, and there's ways to figure things out, you know, without saying too much. And that individual gets dealt with quite swiftly as soon as it comes back concrete. Now, there's a thing called paperwork in there. Everybody knows about paperwork, right? Or you've heard it, you've seen it in movies. Slipping into darkness, orale, right? American Me. We've all seen it. If it comes back that someone's not in good standing, someone's not righteous, then he'll be dealt with by his own group faction swiftly, okay? If they can't get to him, eventually they will. And that's just how it is. That's such as life in prison, especially in California prison, which we're talking about now. Okay, now there's a different type of inmate. Okay, and these are the ones that I think are most treacherous and most vile out of all. And these are the ones that are in good standings. They're pushing, they're out there on the yarda, they're having it their way, they're doing it. But at the end of the day, man, they don't have what's best for the people in their minds. They only have what's best for themselves. Okay, these are bandidos. These are people that are utilizing their own gente to get what they want. You know, so at the end of the day, they live, they shine, and everyone else that's around them, man, comes up, shouty shout. And that's it, period. Those are the type that really get under my skin, those are the type that I don't identify with, because I know that they're playing people out of pocket, and it's not a good look, man. But you're in a position where you can't challenge that authority. You can't challenge that. And I'm not saying it's anyone in a group or gang faction. It could be anyone. You know, as a youngster, when I was in CYA, you would hit certain compas, certain buildings, certain cottages is what they called them. And there was always one or two people that just were having it their way there. No, and not necessarily they were all gang members. There was just some vatos that had been down for a little while, big old vato, and they were pretty much running that compa, or, you know, doing wiggling however the fuck they wanted to wiggle. And everybody knew deep down inside this motherfucker was a sucker and a half shell. Turtle power, right? He was a sucker. But no one made that next move their best move, because it was a fear factor. This person had punked people. This person had aggressively pushed up on people. So people were like, I'm just going to stay out of their way, man. I don't want that fun. I don't want that, you know, that problem. Eventually their filth would get found out, man, and someone would approach them. Someone would run up on them and show them just how much of a BI they were, right? How much of a bitch they were, how they were acting, how they were living. And it happens, you know, and it happened several times. I seen it. But, you know, these type of individuals are always going to be around. It's kind of like in the workplace, man. There's always going to be that motherfucker that thinks he's untouchable, thinks he can do whatever he wants to do, wiggle how he works. Wiggle while you work. He's doing his thing, and eventually, man, he gets punked by the new guy, and you're like, I seen it coming. I knew it, right? So there's those type of individuals. There's a lot of different people in the California Department of Corrections. See, every person is different. Every person is born different. Everyone is cut from a different cloth. Okay? And that needs to be adhered to, and that needs to be locked in. You need to understand that not everybody's the same, and you can't expect everybody to believe in your beliefs and everyone to be the same, because we all come from different geography. We all come from different areas. It doesn't make anyone better than anyone else, but it means we all were raised with different morals, different values, and different belief systems. You know, just because a vato is from down south and I'm from up north doesn't mean I'm better or he's better. All it means is, ¿sabes qué? The wind was blowing that way when my jefito was putting it down, right? And I was born over there. That's it. You have a lot of individuals. See, this is what has always tripped me out. There's a lot of individuals that were born in LA, San Bernardino, San Diego, down south, that migrated up north as a young child. And of course, man, started claiming north there, started to become a norteño because they're a product of their environment. And when they were able to understand what it was, man, they were down to toil in that soil from which they grew up in. And the same thing has happened down south. You got vatos from San Jose, Salas, Merced that actually were born there and wiggled down south. It's like LA all day on theirs, right? And I understand that. That's understandable. It's not where you're born, it's where you're from or where you're at. Better believe that. So a lot of people get incarcerated and they have family members that are from up north or down south, vice versa, tit for tat. You know what it is. And expect them to feel a certain way when it comes to their familia. Now, I have familia that are sureños from Wilmas, Atwater, LA, right? And I also have familia that are perros, bulldogs, Fresno, right? I have family from everywhere. Do I feel a certain way about them? Chale. You know, if anything, that helped me to understand that there's different ways of thinking, that there's different values, that there's different gang ties, but that doesn't mean nothing. The brown color, the last name, the way we progress, that was my familia, that is my familia, and I'm a true believer in blood is thicker than water, and I'm a true believer in I'm brown and proud. You know what I mean? And they are too, and we're going to do it like that. But when you get in the California Department of Corrections, you're on your own. Okay, quite contrary to what you believe. And your belief system may be, well, Sasuke, I'm going to keep myself surrounded with some good camaradas or some good homeboys, some good brothers, man. And we're going to wiggle like that. That's not always the case, man. At the end of the day, when you jump on that rack at night and you lay your head on that pillow, lay your head on the pillow. Orale, Tony. When you lay your head on that pillow, it's just you and you only. Okay, if you get up and you choose to function that day and you choose to go out there and be part of that agenda and be part of that, that's you that did that. That's not anyone making you do that. So people get the misconception, so scared, I ain't going to go in there and listen to another man. You're not listening to another man. You're looking in the mirror and you're listening to yourself. You know what time it is. You know what you signed up for. You know what the business is. So whatever you choose to do, you choose to do that. Don't put that on another man's plate because he got enough tortillas already. Bang, bang, he's eating. Is it time for you to eat or is it time for you to put in that tray, man, and lock that shit up? I can't call it like an alcoholic, man. Some people roll it up. Some people roll out. Some people roll with it. You know what I mean? I chose to roll with the punches for a long time until I had to throw some. And that's what it was. Then when it came that time, I threw them on the wrong people. And so I was getting bang, bang, deemed. It happens. That's part of life. Such is life. You know, I'll have to deal with that. But let me tell you a few stories. Okay? People get the misconception that in prison, especially the California Department of Corrections, that everybody is against everybody all the time. And that's not the case. Chale. Doing a long time, I could tell you that for the most part, I wasn't involved in too many melees and too many riots. Yeah, as a youngster in the youth authority, of course. We were YA babies. That's how we wiggled. That was how we earned our stripes. That was part of the get down daily. Fighting, melees, riots, getting off where you were mad at, taking flight. That was normality. That was normal. So if you didn't do that, you were probably going to get fucked. Straight up. Bang, bang. I'm sorry. That's just the way it was, right? Motherfuckers were waiting for someone to show weakness. They were ready on, they were on their Debo shit, on their cheek clapping shit. They were doing that, right? I never found myself in that situation because of course I was a Norteño. I was striving for that cause, and I was a true believer. I was going to stand down for my people no matter what. And that's what I chose to do. So I got involved in a lot of stuff. As I grew up and I went to prison, I came to realize that it's not all about fighting and war and all that. You're always in a soft defensive stance. You're always ready for whatever. There's always people watching everyone. The eye in the sky. There's people watching everyone on that yard. But for the most part, we got along fine with our adversaries. There was always a lot of buenos diases, buenos noches. There was a lot going on, and it was a big respect there. That's why respect is the biggest word in my vocabulary, because that's what there was. So here's a big thing and a big misconception people get in California prisons. They always ask me, hey, I know that the blacks, the Africanos, and the whites, I know they go at it daily. I've never seen it. In all my time incarcerated, it's crazy because I kick back with a few homeboys and we talk about and reminisce about back when we were locked up. They never seen it either. I never seen, and maybe I just was in different spots, I don't know, but I never seen the Africano car and the whites, the woods, or the skinheads, or whatever the case may be, go at it. It just never happened. It's not like the movies like you think. And you would think the black and white issue would be the biggest issue, man, being that, you know, of course, the white pushes their propaganda and how they feel. And of course, the Africanos are going to stand down for theirs, man. Shout out to my brothers, man. Gigi DJ Nawi, Mojanane, Je Masaku Asante, Kitu. You feel me, right? They're doing their thing. But at the end of the day, I just was never on a yard where I seen them having tension. I seen them getting off. More so, I seen the Southerners and whites getting off with each other. I seen others and Africanos getting off. I seen Southerners and others getting off. And I'll be quite honest with you, man, and straight up to the point, I never seen Northerners and Southerners in prison getting off on each other either. On the 4 yards and the 3 yards, it's different. Okay? Mucho respeto. And in that fashion, motherfuckers ain't doing that. They're not going that route because they know that there's body bags and flights being taken out of there if it gets to that point. Now, what happens? Okay, it's happened in a lot of places. Over the years, it has happened. But I never got to witness it. I seen more so people dealing with their own faction, dealing with their own carro, cleaning up trash, or doing removals and things of that nature, which I participated in some I just seen. This is what happens. Okay, and that's neither here nor there. That's not to say, oh, that's great, and you know, that's prison. That's prison life, man. Like I said, everyone knows what they signed up for. When you go in there, it's a very treacherous place. You can come up show real quick if you're not functioning to the best of your abilities or up to par with what you're supposed to do. But I never seen it, you know. I've seen a lot of different characters in prison. Everyone thinks they're better than the next man, you know, just like X-Rated say. Busting down with the machine. It's Africans and Northerners and cops packing mini 14s. Can't stop, won't stop. We're in motion. Gotta stand strong. It was on in New Folsom. And I'm sure it was on in New Folsom. But at the same time, to be honest with you and to be real, doing time in prison, I seen a lot of aggression. I seen a lot of things that, you know, you can't even explain, the things that I shouldn't explain, and I won't. But I never seen like the movies, like slipping into darkness, like you're thinking it's always on and cracking like that. Charlie, man. You know, for the most part, everyone's just doing their own time. Every group faction is doing their own thing. And that's how life is. Now, of course, things have changed. Things have drastically changed since I've been incarcerated. Because it wasn't like the wind wasn't blowing that way and I got out the other day. Charlie, man, I've been out for a long time. I've been out for a while. So a lot has changed. So I can't speak on the progression of what has changed. All I can tell you is prison is always going to be prison. It's a place that's full of redundancy. It's a place that's full of the same old thing over and over again. Hey, did you see that what got stabbed? Yeah, I seen the other one that got stabbed too. It's the same old thing. But does that get nothing? But his eye was over there. That gave the other guy's jaw was over there. It happens. It's part of life. Now, you'll never get used to it. Once you become accustomed and used to the violence and used to the treachery and used to that, then you've changed, right? You've changed drastically. But for the most part, man, it's not like a daily thing where daily occurrences happen like that and you see that. Charlie, you know? So I respect what's going on in the California prisons. I respect what everyone's going through. I know there's vatos right now busting down. Man, I don't like this fool, Gunner. Fuck this fool, right? We have to get it, man. He's just out there talking about it. But I've been through it. You know what I mean? I bear with you. I understand. I sympathize with your cause. I sympathize with how you feel. You know, I've been through that. I've been through that mud, man, and I came out shining. I had to do what I had to do to make it necessary for me to function in life, you know? And I'm not here to hate on anyone. I'm not here to deter anyone. I'm not here to say I'm a positive person or I'm a negative person. I'm just a person, man. And at the end of the day, we all make mistakes and we all do good things in life. And what you do, you choose. You know, so basically in prison, you know, to answer some of the questions that are asked of me, it's not like you think it is. It's a bunch of redundancy, like I said, a bunch of the same old shit. But it does get a little icky sticky sometimes, you know, so you always have to be on your toes and prepare to duck and shake those hoes, because that's just what it is. Anyways, with that being said, you know, I just wanted to throw a little spill out there to clear some of the misconceptions about a California prisoner. Now, I know every state is different and you got other things going on in different states, and we'll rock with that later on. We'll get to that. But until then, you know, me being from California, and that's my predominant state, that's where I dwell, that's where I lay my fucking head, that's where my rack is. I'm going to say this. It's different, but it's all based on how you make it. If you're doing some weird shit, you're going to go to a weird place and weird shit's going to happen to you. If you're a solid individual, you're going to go to a solid yarda and hopefully you stay solid. You know, if you're a vato just trying to get by, just do your tiempo, well, then you're going to have to deal with that as it comes. That's part of life. Anyways, I hope that you move fast with a purpose, man. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. I hope that you vatos that are in there that do have a date and do have action, come out here and do what you can for your familia and what you can for yourself. At the end of the day, man, you can't help nobody if you can't help yourself, you know, and I'm here to rock. For the gente, you know, for the raza, for the people in general. You know what it is, man. Please like and subscribe if you like this. If you don't, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy as the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to push forward, man. Gracias for all the beautiful content that's been on YouTube lately. I'm watching everyone's shit. Everyone's rocking that good ride, man. Shout out to all those real channels doing their real thing, man. Everyone knows who they are. You know what it is, man. I got love for everyone. I hope everyone prospers in the shit. The gun. You know what it is? Bang, bang. Cactus Jack shit.